Good morning, all. We start our lecture for the subject algorithm design and analysis. Right. In the previous lecture, we have studied what is the need of this subject and why we are studying this subject. What is the meaning of algorithm analysis? What is the meaning of algorithm design? So we have discussed those topics in the previous lecture. Now, in today's lecture, we will discuss mathematical formula and asymptotic notations. These two topics we will discuss in today's lecture. Because basically, when we will study this subject, basically in case of analysis part of the algorithm, we need the mathematical formulas. That means the formulas which we have studied earlier in 10th and 12th grade, we need to refresh those formulas. So we will see one by one. The main formulas we will try to cover here. So these are the list of topics we will cover: mathematical formulas and asymptotic notations. Now the first formula is floor of x, and how we will write it, how we will denote it, this formula using this symbol. So what is the floor x? Formula says that means it is the largest integer less than or equal to x. So that is the floor formula. Next formula is the ceil formula. And what is the symbol we will use? As shown in this PPT, we will use this symbol to show ceil function. So basically floor and ceil, these are two functions. And when we will pass x, that means any, we can say any, for example, decimal value. For example, if we pass floor 3.4, so then it will return 4. Similarly, in case of ceil function, it will give us, for example, smallest integer which is greater than or equal to x. So these are the written formulas of this, right? So in this manner, we can show. So in this manner, we can use these two formulas, ceil and floor function, right? So ceil function, if x will be passed to this, then it will return the smallest integer greater than or equal to x. For example, if you will pass ceil 3.4, it will return 3, right? So if you will pass similar value floor 3.4, it will return the upper one, that means 4, largest integer value, and ceil will return 3.43, right? Now next formulas, there are few logarithmic formulas which we'll need to use whenever we want to analyze the algorithms. First formula is log of xy base a. So it will be base may be e, base may be 2, base may be 10. So generally we use these bases in case of this subject. So generally we use e base and 2 bases maximum times used in this subject. So log xy base a will be log x base a plus log y base a. Second formula, log x upon y base a. So this will be log x base a minus log y base a. Log x to the power n base a equals to n log x base a. Log 1 base a value will be 0. And log x base x will be 1. That means if value and base is same, so in that case it will be 1. Next, log x base a will be 1 upon log x, 1 upon log a base x. That means if we interchange the value and the base, so it will be 1 upon. Next formula, log x base a will be log b base a into log x base b. So this formula is also important. That means what we are doing, we are changing the value. So in the similar manner, we can see b will be cancelled with the base. So it will be log a, log x base a. Another formula, log x base a, it will be log x base b upon log a base b. Another one, a to the power log x base a equals to x, right? That means if power and base is same, that means a to the power log ax equals to x. That means 2 to the power log 2, 3, for example, 2 to the power log 3 base 2. So it will come 2, right? Another formula is x to the power log y base b will be y to the power log x base b. Another few formulas are, which are also important and useful for this subject. Those are combination of n comma k, that means nck. So nck will be n into n minus 1 into and so on n minus k plus 1 upon factorial k. Another one, so what we can say? We can say it is factorial n upon factorial n minus k into factorial k, right? Another formula is summation k equals to 0 to n c n k equals to 2 to the power n, right? Now another is we need to use AP series and GP series. That means arithmetic progression and geometric progression, which we have studied in 11th and 12th standard. So just refresh here, because in sometimes in case of when suppose some equation is given to us and it is asked from us that find, analyze it. So in that case, we need to know what is the formula of AP and GP. So in case of AP, the nth term will be find out using this a plus n minus 1 into d, right? And sum will be, that means Sn equals to n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So these are the two formula which are used. Generally, nth term is maximum times used in case of AP. Next is geometric progression, or GP we use the term. So in that case, nth term will be a r to the power n minus 1. And sum of this will be sum Sn equals to a 1 minus r to the power n upon 1 minus r. And it is valid for when r is not equals to 1. That means summation of a GP series will be a into 1 minus r upon n upon 1 minus r. Right? So these are the few formulas which we studied. So we have studied up to here in this lecture mathematical formulas which we need to use in case of when we want to solve the numerical on the analysis of the algorithm. Right? Now another topic is space-time trade-off. What is this? In the previous lecture we have studied there are two types of, when we want to analyze an algorithm, generally two terms came in picture, very important. First one is space complexity, second one is time complexity. Now what is the space complexity? Space complexity says us, that means algorithm, how much time algorithm will take in primary memory. We are not talking about the secondary memory, right? Reason is that because secondary memory is not crucial for us, because secondary memory is cheap, it is not costly. The primary concern is RAM, because RAM is costly. That's why we can see in the system that nowadays hard disk, secondary memory means hard disk is coming in terabytes, but memory is coming in GBs, right? So that our main objective is space complexity. That means how much time, how much space the algorithm will take in the primary memory, in the memory. And what is the time complexity? Time complexity means how much time the algorithm will take to execute, right? So these are the two important factors through which we want to analyze the algorithm. Now, what's the meaning of this space-time trade-off? What happened generally when we want to achieve that algorithm take less space, maximum time it happens that time complexity increase. And if we want that it will take less time, it is happened that it will take more space. That means there is a trade-off between space complexity and time complexity. So that's why this topic is space-time complexity trade-off. Or sometimes we will say, rather than using the term complexity, because we are discussing this topic with respect to analysis, design, and algorithm. That's why that means space time is, that means we are talking about complexity. So for example, suppose you want to store employee information. So what is the solution for that? One solution is that store the employee information in array. Second way is that store the information in linked list. Now, few questions came in mind. First question is, which locates a particular employee faster? Second question, which provides better utilization of memory? Third question, which is easy to code? And fourth one is, which is easier to test? So these questions came in mind, right? So that means there is a trade-off. If somebody use array and somebody use linked list, so obviously there is a trade-off, because sometimes what do you say, array will take more time, more space, right? And linked list is fast with respect to few operations, right? So in that case, there is a trade-off between space-time complexity, and we try to explain time and space complexity trade-off through this example, right? So what is space complexity? That means, next topic, amount of memory the algorithm needs to run to completion. Completion means to completely complete. So what are the requirements? Fixed part and variable part. So it will have two parts, fixed part and variable part, right? So it will have, space complexity will have two parts, fixed part and variable part. So what we can say, SP equals to C plus SP. That means fixed part plus variable part. Now what is time complexity? Amount of time computer needed for the algorithm to run to completion, right? So through the equation, how we can show it? TP equals to CP plus RP. Where what is CP? CP is independent of problem instance and is always not required. That means CP means, that means if there is no need to recompile the code, that part is CP, right? Because computer need the time, that means a code, if we convert an algorithm in the code, so we need to compile it. Plus, second one is plus RP. So that's why we divide time complexity TP equals to CP plus RP. What is CP? CP means if suppose we compile a code once, so we can reuse that until we have modified that. So that means when we give some application to the user, so generally what we will give? We will give the exe code. So that there is no need to compile the exe code when application is ready. So that in the case of time complexity, we concentrate on RP part, right? Now we will take few examples through which we will try to find out, simple examples through which we'll try to find out how we can calculate the time taken by the algorithm. That means number of calculations, how much time the algorithm will take. So this is the first example, very simple example. Suppose we want to do the summation of array. So this is the algorithm, sum a comma n. What we initialize? We initialize sum equals to 0.0. Now we will take a loop for I equals to 1 to n. What is n? N is the size of the array. And we want to sum the elements of array. So s equals to s plus ai. Loop close and return s. Right? So in this manner we can show. So what's the frequency? What's the meaning of this part? Frequency means how many times. See, in an algorithm, each statement is an instruction. So each statement is an instruction. So algorithm sum a comma n, that will execute once. S equals to 0 will execute one time, right? And for loop will be execute I equals to 1 to n times, because it will execute for I equals to 1, I equals to 2, I equals to 3 up to n, and for n plus 1 to check the condition is false. So that's why for loop will be executed plus 1 times. That means, for example, if for loop is I equals to 1 to 2, for example, so it will execute for 1 equals to particular statement, for statement we are talking. We are not talking the statement which are inside the for loop. So when I equals to 1, it will be executed. When I equals to 2, it will be executed. And why when I becomes 3, it will be this particular statement will check the condition for the false. When I equals to 3, the control will not go inside the loop, correct? But particular statement, 4 statement will execute 3 times. So in this manner, if 4 I equals to 1 to n, so this particular statement will execute n plus 1 times, right? Now inside the loop, the statement which are inside the loop will be executed minus 1 times. That's why n plus 1 minus 1, that means n times. And is the loop close? So that return s will be executed 1 times. So total we can say it will be 1, n plus 1, and the total time taken to this algorithm to execute will be 2 n plus 3. If we add these totals, 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus 1, so it becomes 2n. So now in this lecture, we have tried to cover this portion, and we have taken this simple example also, through which we try to elaborate what is the purpose of time space complexity, how we can define, and this is a simple example we have discussed. So this is the lecture today we have discussed. Okay, so it's end for today lecture today. We will discuss in the next lecture. We will continue in the next lecture. Right. Thank you very much for the patience and listen to me.